Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your day today to join me on my webinar, and I'm super excited to talk to you about Ideate Automation. My name is Naveen Nabil. I'm a Customer Success Manager at Ideate Software. Prior to joining Ideate, I worked in BIM management and digital design technology, and I'm located in Toronto. I've been a long-standing customer of Ideate and an advocate of their tools, so I decided to join their team. I've included my LinkedIn information if you'd like to connect with me afterwards, and also included my emails. If you have any questions, you can send them my way. I'm more than happy to connect and answer your questions. So today's learning objective is exporting a lot of Revit data, Revit model health data, generating quantity takeoff data, obtaining comprehensive reports on your Revit families and project metrics, and automate your PDF, DWG, NWC, and IFC exports, and do all of that overnight if you prefer. So all these tasks can also be scheduled or can be done ad hoc, and we'll discuss that as well. So to begin, what is Ideate Automation? It is a Windows application that automates your Revit tasks. It is compatible with Revit 2020 to 2024. It can utilize Ideate software solutions such as BIMlink, Explorer, Style Manager, and apps. It is designed to run with minimal input and delivers accurate and predictable results. Here's a list of workflows that Ideate Automation can do. This is what you can do with a licensed product or a free trial. If you're just trialing our tools and you do not have our other software suite, then you'll be able to run the file open, PDF export, IFC, NWC, and DWG, and do regular file maintenance, auditing, upgrading, and archiving, and publishing to BIM 360 and ACC Cloud. So if you do have our other tools and you're also trialing, you're able to do more than the top workflows. I really like this screenshot because it gives you a comprehensive overview of what our tools do. For example, the dynamic PDF, DWG, and WCE export utilizes BIMlink to generate the sheet lists, and we'll talk about that later. So you're also able to run health check reports, and we do provide the Power BI template, and you're able to do document issue records, automating that workflow, Style Manager, running Style Manager and exporting all their usage in the model. Perform quantity takeoffs for your COBie data prep, do annotation clashes, and export your Ideate Explorer warning reports. And we'll discuss all of these in detail in a sec. So this is what the interface would look like. This is where you'll see the software version. We're actually at 3.1. Then we have the home. You'll get the getting started guide. You have a lot of information on our website. You can do your Ideate Cloud Connector integration. We'll also talk about that in a second. This is an overview also of all the tasks that you ran initially before when you first run automation. Then you have a creating new task, repeating, cloning, and scheduling. This is the Create tab, which allows you to access our library of all scripts, and you're able to, when you click on them, you'll see the description of what each task does. This is the file location where all your models are located, or it's kind of like a hub. So when you log in to your cloud, to your BIM 360, you're able to see your live models. And this is what you're seeing here in the list that's generated. You'll see the Revit version and the project name as well, and the file name. And you're able to also run it on local models. All these tasks can be run ad hoc, or you're able to schedule them, and we have an in-product task scheduler. This is what that looks like. So piggybacking on the product scheduler, so previously before this release, we utilized the Windows task scheduler to run these tasks, but then we decided to have our own UI where if a task is run and completed and we're happy with it, you can kind of right click on it and schedule it, and it would go under that schedule task. And you'll see this task, for example, is an open file, and it says open it every day at 7:30 a.m. and then do this weekly. And these are the days that it would occur. And we'll talk about the file open in a bit. A few concepts to cover before we talk about the workflows. One is the use file list. So when you're creating a task and you're building it, you're able to either select the model, which is kind of like one by one, selecting a list of model you're doing the same workflow for. But then we have this idea of using file list, which you have to run this script called AUT generate Revit file list, which compiles a list of Revit models and puts them in a TXT file as line items, which tells you the file name, location, and the year. And it's all compiled in a TXT file. So you have this list of Revit model that you are able to use on multiple tasks. And once you add another model to them, you're able to just add it to that TXT file, and that will be used by a lot of other scripts. So that's super helpful in terms of scaling. The idea of closing work sets. So before running a task, you're able to actually close work sets, and you'd run the get file data, and it would kind of scrape that data in the background and makes it available for automation. To close it, this is a wildcard where it says anything that says the word link in it, close it before you do this PDF export. This request came in from a customer who had a point cloud model linked into their model, and they wanted to close the work set before they run their PDF exports. So that's what they ended up doing, and that's what they ended up using, and that's how that feature got implemented. So let's talk about in depth on some of the workflows. So we touched briefly earlier about the open file process. This has been a favorite of all of our customers and myself too. I've been using it internally to open a lot of models without having to know the Revit version. I don't need to know where this is hosted or the hub or the project. And some models actually take 10 minutes to just open. So the idea here is that automation would be installed on all users machines, and you're able to kind of run either on demand to open the model. It allows you to search just via name what the model is and able to open it without remembering the version location. And you also define the work sets before you open that model. And you're able to schedule it. So let's say you have a model that you want to open at 8:30 a.m. before you get in at 9, then that's also something that's possible. Next, let's talk about PDF, DWG, NWC, and IFC exports. These are typical deliverables that we have to all submit on recurring time basis, and they're very time-consuming tasks. With automation, you're able to schedule them to run off hours. There's no advanced file setup that's needed. You just point it to the Revit model, and in the Revit model, you have your view and sheet set, and that will be one of the inputs that you put in your script to run that. This is something to keep in mind if you're running PDF and DWG exports, because we are using the built-in PDF viewer introduced in Revit 2022. The PDF exports is supported from Revit 2022 and above. However, the DWG and the others are supported from 2020 and above. This is to keep in mind if you're running this script. So this idea of dynamic, I've touched base a little bit on it, is that we utilize our other tools, our other Ideate software tools, to do better kind of in our workflows. And this is one example. So the Revit sheet set is static list. So let's say you have your permit set, it's called permit set, and you're triggering it via automation, but that list is living in the model, it is static. Every time the sheets get added or removed to that set, then you need to go to the Revit model, update it, and do all that work. And then before you run automation. So this idea of using BIMlink as our tool to kind of on the fly generate that list So for example, we have these filters. So placeholder equals to false and the sheet number is S20. So this on the fly, if it's loaded via automation to this model, it's going to pick, let's say, six views. If the same BIM link definition is used through multiple models, then it's on the fly going to create your permit sheet via that parameter value, and it's going to be dynamic in that sense. Let's see how that would work. So this is automation. You can launch it. You can go ahead and go to your Create tab, Publishing. You're doing a combined PDF. It tells you I need BIM link, I need Revit 2022, automation. You can browse. You're browsing to the live models, and these are, you can just select them in there. Closing work sets is the wildcard for the link. And this is the export folder location where that's going to go. And then this is the custom BIM link sheet definition that we had defined externally and can be used on multiple models. This one is SD, looking for anything that has the prefix SD. And then the file name is just a parameter so that it can apply to multiple model. We have also extra information on each task if you want to learn more about them. These additional settings are meant to be discrete. This is just for advanced editors who want to further customize their scripts. So we have the BIM link definition. We're saying we want to use the external one. If you have one defined in the model, we're telling it to use external. And this is the library location where that BIM link definition is located in. So you have a library that houses all those BIM link definitions that you have. Then you have the script variables. Go ahead and run it. It will launch the Revit version that is meant for that model. And then what it's doing in the background, it's obviously looking at the workset information and also loading in temporarily those BIM link definitions to create the sheet list on the fly. So it went ahead and did that, and when it's done, it's just processing it depending on how long it takes, how many sheets you're exporting. And the beauty about it is that it tells you the status and the duration is completed. It took 1 minute to run that task. And then you can go ahead and navigate to that export folder where I've put it earlier. Then you have your exports, 7 sheets that are defined via the BIM link definition, which is all the SD, something that begins with SD, and then it will export all that. Okay, so the next workflow that I want to talk about is publishing to BIM 360 and ACC. So we have, we know it's publishing is a time-consuming task. Scheduling is limited to design collaboration owners, admins only once a week, and it publishes the entire folder, including all the models that are in there, and there's no ability to actually exclude several links. Our solution actually is, this is the beauty about it, is that there's one location to set all that up. If you were to do it on BIM 360 side, you have to go to every model to set that schedule, which is time consuming. Let's say you agree everything needs to go on Thursday at 5 o'clock, then that's what you set up. It's all the either use file lists that we talked about earlier or the list of models. It also allows you to have everyone in the model able to publish that has access to that model. And it also gives you the ability to publish without links. And then again, you can do it ad hoc or scheduled. And this applies to all the tasks. In order to be able to do the publishing, you need to do the ACC BIM 360 integration. And when you do that, you actually have a list of all the models that you have access to, and you can easily, start searching and looking for all these models. Makes it easily accessible, and you're able to do the publishing. Other workflows including upgrading families, RFA maintenance, for example, upgrading, auditing, compacting RFAs to any Revit versions that you want. You're able to delete all backup files. When you edit a family, 001 gets created, then that's something that we are able to clean. And you can also perform detailed family and file health check reporting. And this is how that looks like. So let's say you have a list of families that you want to export detailed information about, and these families can either live in the Revit model or in a library location. Then you're able to get the file name, the Revit version, all the categories, the file size, instances created by nested families, and all these other parameters that you see on the screen. And this list is always growing. It's always, it came in from a lot of our customers' feedback on what information they track regarding their families, and that's what we have. Then we also have the Revit file maintenance, and this is auditing and compacting the Revit files. Let's say you have that Revit list that you had already generated via TXT, then that would be one of the really nice workflows to have to automate, to audit and compact this list on a regular basis, because it needs to happen by one user. Not everyone needs to do this auditing and compacting. One user does it regularly, and that's it. And we also allow you to perform comprehensive and consistent model metric data, which will look into that. And we supplement the Power BI template, which we'll also have a look at that in a sec. The file information, you're able to get the open time of all these models, how long it takes to open them, and the file path and the file name. And you're able to export Revit schedules. So if you see this logo here is BIMlink. BIMlink is working with Ideate Automation via BIMlink definitions that are defined externally. Let's say your door schedule needs to be exported regularly, or your room data sheets, or your revisions, whatever that you want to export regularly for review, then you're able to do that. Then we have a document issue record. If you would like to, this is in collaboration of Sticky and BIMlink and Automation. BIMlink allows you to export the raw data about revisions. Sticky allows you to sticky back the macro-enabled template that we have, which would spit out the information like this, and it's kind of tabular info of all your revision. You can have it on your homepage, and that all can be automated. Then we have quantity takeoffs. So if you are looking into construction PTO, then you're able to run, again, BIMlink definitions to do that. And then we have a macro-enabled Excel that is pivoting all that information and have it ready for you. And this is all editable. You can edit the Excel that has that template and then have it display a bit different for you, for your need. Then we have COBie data. Again, this is all about data, right? So if you have data deliverables for COBie, you're able to actually automate these data exports. We have a lot of BIMlink definitions that are already ready for you to use. And automation will be happy to export those on a regular basis. And you're able to manage your COBie parameters. Next, we have health check, similar fashion to all the other ones. There are HC, which is health check definitions on the stuff that we are looking to track, and all this information is getting exported from BIMlink. Other health check information that we track, like for example, is in-place families. So that's what that kind of looks like. You can even verify with our other tool, Ideate Explorer. And Explorer is actually used for the warnings tab. We actually view the warnings information and we rank them, which is very unique to us, is that we can rank the warnings high, medium, and low or no ranked warnings. And we're able to export all that to Excel. And this is the pivot table that we're, or formulas that we're able to actually have it ready on your Excel homepage. We will be talking about that as well. So this is how that export would look like. So you have all the ranks, all of them created. And then the other health check metric that we track is the annotation issues. Let's say you're having a permit set submitted and you want to do your thorough review of your annotation issues in the model, then this is a good time for you to run this task. It opens every view and it processes that in the background. It opens every work set when you run that task. And if you're enabling your annotation reviews, you have zero link dimension or annotation clashes or unexpected keynotes, which means if there's a keynote in your Revit model and it's not part of that TXT file that's linked in, it says it's unexpected, because when you bring in contents from one model to another, the keynote will not tell you that it's not part of the link that's in there, among many other things like blank tags and stuff. These are all these ones that we track via annotations, and we can export that again to Excel. So then we can also automate your style manager exports. Style manager is used to look into object style, line styles, and patterns, text and fonts, any parameters or view templates, standardize them. You're able to actually export all that information to Excel and do your thorough review before going into the Revit model, because this is a time tasking task. So these are the KPIs for health check. You can automate that setup easily to your homepage. So this is what it would look like. And we'll have a look on how you would automate your health checks. So go ahead and launch automation, run the health check. It tells you I need BIM-Link Explorer and apps. Again, you're navigating to what the model looks like, where it is located. Then you have the location of your template, which is what you saw, which we deliver with our product, which health check template has a lot of pivot tables and formulas and whatnot. This is the export, where that is going to be. This is the file name, which is going to be prefixed with the date. And then we have all the BIM-Link definition location, which is externally defined once you set it up, and we do deliver it as well. And then you're able to include the annotation issues, which what we talked about, and only look into annotation issues that are on sheet. You can review all the variables, you're happy with them, go ahead and run it. It will again run the Revit version that it needs to run, and then it will go in and load all these BIM-Link definitions that we saw one by one without editing it in the model. It just loads it, extract the information that it needs into that Excel formulas. If there's any pop-ups, by the way, it would suppress them as well. So this process won't be interrupted. And then however long this task takes, depending on how much data you're exporting, then it will end the process. And then it will tell you how long it took, which is super helpful. This task took 7 minutes. And let's go ahead and look at the Excel export that was generated. You see the date and then the file name was there in the file naming for that export. We have the date formula created in there. These are all information coming in from BIM-Link Explorer and apps, and there are a lot of pivot values, metrics that determines why it's red. It's above something. So these are the metric thresholds. So if it's above a certain number, then it would be red. That's what we're seeing. Then we have all the BIM-Link raw data that is exported in here, the HC BIM-Link definitions. They're in different tabs. And then we have Explorer, which is the Explorer warnings, and then apps, the annotation issues. And that's what kind of generates this homepage screen that you're looking at. And it's all via formulas. This is what the general workflows if you were to have an infographic on it. So Ideate Automation, working with BIM-Link Explorer, Annotation, and Style Manager, and spitting that information to Excel. Excel is teaming up with formulas, pivot tables, macros, and charts. You can customize it however you want. Then you can sticky it back into the Revit homepage. A lot of people don't utilize the homepage as well. And this is one of the really good use cases, is that you can put in your model metrics on there. You can automate the data export, and then you can also keep your sticky up to date. And this is what that screen icon indicates, is that it just keeps the data up to date so that your downstream users in the model are able to make changes in the model to address those problems in the model. Then you stick it back into the Revit model, and it's a cyclical thing, so it trades the information again from the Revit model. It does that regularly. And this is what the homepage would look like. Anything in red needs addressing, and we saw that it was coming in because of the thresholds that we have set up in the secondary tab. So this is the what the Power BI would look like. All this information here is coming in from Explorer. So all the warnings data that we saw, warnings over time, high, medium, and low not ranked warnings. So we're not only just showing you the warnings, we're also showing you that their rank. It's something that's super important to focus your effort on cleanup process on what is more impactful. It shows you the file name and also tells you how many warnings that you have in the model. These information here is coming in from BIMlink, such as views not a sheet, model lines, model groups, detail groups, CAD imports, and in-place families, and as well as your sheets. As you can see here, this is an average annotation issues per sheet. This is the annotation clashes and those annotation issues that we saw. It's just a metric to say annotation issues over the number of sheets that you have, and it gives you a number that you're able to work with. The secondary tab on BIMlink shows you the more information. So in here, you'll see like a little eye here. These are things that you can click in the Power BI. This is where it would take you. The CAD imports is listed in here, and then also created by filters. You're able, if you're a user that created the CAD imports, you can easily select your name so that you can address the CAD imports that you brought in, and you can clean that up. Similarly to in-place families, and you can filter by created by. And you're able to also, with warnings, to see the warning types. So we have the ranks as well as the description of each one and how many times it's happening in the Revit model. And then these are the total warnings that are happening. This is more detailed information about it. And you're able with Explorer actually to hide some of these warnings, and this is what we're seeing here. Some of the hidden warnings in the model, you're able to view them and see maybe they shouldn't be hidden, they need to be addressed as well. So to summarize, Ideate Automation is a Windows application. It does not require any IT setup. You just install it and run it on your machine. You can run off hours. You can run these tasks off hours. You can free your time to do other things. Any of the information that you are exporting is automated and consistent. You're being consistent with your results, basically. We would advise you to keep your metrics simple and actionable. This is what we really like about our health data metrics, is that we provide actionable items to our customers. Our website is full of information on getting started guide. And the last thing I'd like to ask is, what else would you like us to automate? This list has grown tremendously the past year, and we were looking for a lot more information from our customers for things that they want to automate. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.